Hanju then slowly explained, your intention is not wrong, but I've already accumulated quite a bit of karma helping Yuqing sect. If they come together to find me, can I hide like Yuqing sect? Li Tianzi thought for a moment, that's true. If that happens, we can increase the spiritual energy in Elder Han's cave. Hanju said in confusion, is that all? My cave should be the place with the richest spiritual energy in the sect. After thinking for a moment, he replied, this is the best we can do. I'm afraid we can't meet your other needs. If not, wait until the ancestor returns. His cultivation level must have many treasures, and you will definitely get your share. The two parted ways, and Li Tianzi thought to himself, ancestor, please hurry back. We really can't handle this little ancestor. The system reminded him, and the system panel popped up. Hanju focused and snapped back to reality. The system notified, you have successfully protected the sect, repelled the 6E sacred sect, and received a spiritual treasure, a swordsmanship manual, and an auspicious beast egg. After reading, Hanju excitedly shouted, I'm rich. It wasn't over yet. The system continued to report, you have obtained a 5th grade spiritual treasure, 9-star spirit slapping boots. The manual for the heartless flying sword and the chaos celestial dog was in an eggshell state. Yang Tiandong exclaimed, Master suddenly conjured a treasure. Is this a space spell? The black-eyed chicken added, the treasures are all of high quality. Is the master selling treasures? While feeling pleased, Hanju said, Chick, I need your help with something. With a villainous and sly smile, and holding the egg in his hand, he handed it to the black-eyed chicken. As if understanding Hanju's meaning, it cried and begged, Master, spare me. But how could a chicken escape the evil human hand? As expected, the egg had to be incubated by the black-eyed chicken. Outside, someone reported, elders from the 18 Peaks and the Yuqing Peak stewards are gathering in the main hall. Following orders, everyone quickly gathered in the main hall. People whispered, are we going to fight with another sect again? Why are they calling the elders? The people from the 18 mountains signaled for quiet. The Supreme Elder stepped forward and spoke in a deep voice, for this moment, we have waited nearly 1,000 years. 1,000 years ago, we were like ants in front of him, but today, 10 years later, we will show him our strength. With a determined look in his eyes, he commanded, prepare to depart, there must be no mistakes. Li Qingzi asked from the side, are we really going to do it this way? The Supreme Elder replied, don't overthink it, this is crucial, and any preparation is not too much. Suddenly, the members of the sect pointed at the sky, saying, quick, look at what's in the sky. Even the Supreme Elder looked up in surprise. A black hole appeared in the sky, looking like a black hole in the universe, with thunder and lightning inside. From the black hole, a foot slowly extended. It was Jioding, and beside him was a monster. He laughed as he walked. Jioding spoke, it's been nearly 1,000 years, let's see how much progress you've made. Don't disappoint me. After speaking, he stood in mid-air and released a pressure from all directions to test them. The people below were terrified. This pressure far exceeded Duan Tongtian's. Could Elder Zhanshan handle him? The Supreme Elder's face turned extremely serious. He shouted angrily and formed a formation. As soon as he finished speaking, the formations around them lit up one after another, splitting into two sides. The sound of fireworks broke the tense atmosphere. It turned out everyone was setting off fireworks to welcome Jioding, the true master of Yuqing sect. Even the Supreme Elder couldn't help but act coy. Master, do you like it? He stood high up, watching the disciples cheerfully greet him, and said with appreciation, not bad, the sect is much grander than when I left. After speaking, he turned to the monster beside him, this is called Rong Su Jing, I just casually killed it and turned it into a pill. Distribute it. Jioding seriously reminded, during my absence, has Yuqing sect produced any outstanding disciples? As a reward, I'll personally teach them for a period. Li Qingzi respectfully suggested, naturally, Elder Han is the most outstanding disciple in the sect. The Supreme Elder added, this time, when the sect faced a crisis and resolved it peacefully, Elder Han played a crucial role. After hearing this, Jioding descended and said, with such an outstanding disciple, where is he? I must meet him. Li Qingzi was a little worried. Elder Han focuses entirely on cultivating in his cave and is not here today. Upon hearing this, Jioding didn't blame him but instead said, he has character. Jioding pointed and said, it's fine, I'll go meet him in a few days myself. Hearing this, Li Qingzi was so happy that he almost cried, that's great, we can finally afford to support him. Back at Han Ju's resting mountain. He was sitting there, his eyes filled with extreme helplessness. Meanwhile, the black-eyed chicken was so angry it wanted to keep cursing. Han Ju shifted his gaze to the left, his expression still full of helplessness. A dog's barking broke the tranquility of the mountain forest. It turned out this little dog had been hatched by the black-eyed chicken. Han Ju sat there, watching the chicken and the dog argue non-stop. The main reason was that the Chaos Celestial dog was still young, mischievous, and always made the black-eyed chicken angry. He couldn't help but think, it's been a while since the Chaos Celestial dog was hatched by the black-eyed chicken, but this dog is born. Proud. Why won't it acknowledge this mother? He thought, I've accumulated so much virtue in my life, how did I end up with these two? While Han Ju was daydreaming, he suddenly heard Jioding's voice, Elder Han's two pets don't seem simple. How? Did you acquire them? He turned around in surprise and replied, I acquired them by chance. And you are? At this point, Jioding began introducing himself, I am the founder of the sect, Jioding Zhenren. Li Qingzi, behind him, puzzled, asked, when did he start keeping dogs? Upon hearing this name, Han Ju immediately lowered his head, clasped his hands in respect, and said, I apologize for my rudeness. Please punish me, Jioding Zhenren. Although he said this, he was thinking. To himself, the system already has the information. He'll be challenged in the trial ground today. Jioding gently replied, no need for punishment. I should thank the young friend for helping Yuqing sect in times of danger. To show my gratitude, I want to offer you an opportunity. I wonder if you would accept? Han Ju was extremely surprised upon hearing this. His eyes widened and he asked, opportunity? Jioding explained, 1,000 years ago, my old friend left the cultivation world, Dian, to search for immortals. Later, he went overseas and stayed there for many years. Now, he has become the vice leader of a major sect. This time, he plans to bring some talented individuals to cultivate there. He inwardly felt pleased, such an opportunity would tempt anyone. But Han Ju was somewhat disdainful. Thinking, the family is almost bankrupt. How can they still go after such vague and illusory things? The system reminded, there are two invitations, one is to follow Jioding overseas. The other is to quietly cultivate in Yuqing sect. Since the first option had more benefits, Han Ju chose the first option. But then, he hesitated and asked, may I ask if your sect is considered invincible overseas? After pondering, Jioding replied, while not invincible, we are one of the major overlords. Han Ju asked, so? You have rivals? Jioding answered, but our sect has many strong individuals. Outsiders cannot shake us. He still had a hesitant look in his eyes and answered troubled, is that so? Li Qingzi, seeing this, interjected, if Elder Han finds it difficult, he can think it over and answer later. The ancestor will stay at Yuqing sect for some time. It's not too late to decide then. But inwardly, he was thinking, if Elder Han leaves with Jioding Zhenren, what will happen when Yuqing sect faces a crisis next time? Han Ju didn't overthink it and responded, no need to think further. I am grateful for the ancestors' favor. I choose to stay in Yuqing sect. I want to do my best to help the sect develop. Just like the ancestors stayed outside for many years for the benefit of Yuqing sect, I have my own way of protecting the sect. Seeing the sect grow stronger, that is the true essence of cultivation. After hearing Han Ju's words, Jioding fell into contemplation. Eventually, Jioding said, since that's the case, I won't press further. The happiest one was Li Qingzi, whose eyes were already filled with tears. Jioding turned to leave, but not before reminding, I heard you prefer quiet cultivation. From now on, the whole mountain is yours. You don't need to rely on the cave's spiritual energy. The spiritual veins here are enough to satisfy you. Li Qingzi, arrange for the others to leave the mountain and leave Elder Han alone. Han Ju, having received the benefits, lowered his head to bid Jioding Jinren farewell, not forgetting to thank the senior for his grace. After they had left far behind, Li Qingzi asked the ancestor, "Did you just want to test Elder Han's loyalty to the sect?" After getting the answer he wanted, he said, "Li Qingzi, give him all the treasures I've collected. And arrange a spirit gathering formation to concentrate the spiritual energy of the whole mountain. Make sure the other disciples' caves are arranged properly." Li Qingzi went to carry out the orders. Jioding, after living for such a long time, could immediately see through. "Are you worried that if he leaves with me, Yuqing sect won't have anyone left to protect it?" Li Qingzi fell silent for a moment, then said, "Indeed, Yuqing sect cannot do without Elder Han." He slowly said with his hands behind his back, "You say he is cautious by nature, but I think he is just afraid of the dangers overseas, which are indeed real." Seeing Li Qingzi in a difficult position, he also spoke on his behalf. "If he doesn't want to go, then fine, he can stay in Yuqing sect to guard it. Old friends can rest assured. He's good, really, but timid. Making excuses sounds good. This is the first time I've seen someone like him. When I was young, I wasn't like him." The system reminder appeared again. "You chose to stay in Yuqing sect and received a divine power inheritance, the Tathagata curse, a Buddhist divine power capable of exorcising souls and suppressing evil spirits, along with some items." Han Ju felt a sharp pain in his heart, thinking, "Do I have to take it out?" On a sunny day, Han Ju was sitting and enjoying the scenery when he was suddenly called. "Husband," it was Huang Hongchuan. She called out and walked over. "Recently, I found another treasure." He asked in confusion, "Where did you find it this time, Miss Huang?" Huang Hongchuan blinked cutely and said, "At the market the other day, I participated in an auction and got some treasures." She then opened her hand to show, "Someone wanted to snatch the treasure, but I killed them. This is what I took from their ring." My fellow cultivator said this is a heavenly spirit gathering jade, very rare. Han Ju remained cautious and opened his divine sense. What he saw didn't seem good, but Huang Hongchuan kept talking. "I heard it can automatically gather the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, and also promote the creation of spirit gathering pills. It's a great treasure." He didn't think so, because the item she had was a dark, ugly block, not at all like a treasure. Han Ju helplessly called out, "Stop picking up everything. There's a fierce beast sealed inside. If you cultivate with it, both your body and soul will be backlashed." Huang Hongchuan still argued, "I checked it, how could it be?" He sighed, exhausted. "This thing has disguised itself as spiritual energy. You can't tell until the nascent soul stage." Upon hearing this, she immediately threw the treasure aside. She picked up the treasure and ran off. "Sorry, husband, I'll throw it away right away." Han Ju helplessly said, "I can purify it, bring it here." He used his soul absorption ability on the treasure, and the fierce spirit inside let out a miserable scream. Huang Hongchuan blushed shyly. "So dangerous. Fortunately, my husband is highly skilled and can see through this evil thing. How can I repay you? Look at me." Before she finished, Han Ju interrupted her, "Put it away. I've already destroyed the fierce spirit. You'll need it when you break through." Her face darkened, her plan had failed. He remained calm and continued, "Your cultivation speed is too slow. At this rate, you won't be able to be my Tao partner." As soon as he finished speaking, Huang Hongchuan's hand, which had been tightly clenched, trembled. She lowered her head and answered with disappointment, "I understand." Han Ju seemed to realize he had said too much. "I think I went a bit too far." Feeling guilty, he took out something from his ring. "These are the treasures you gave me. I've kept them carefully, and now I'm returning them to you." Suddenly, Han Ju blushed and stammered, "Also, this place has rich spiritual energy. You can move here to cultivate." Huang Hongchuan's eyes showed surprise, but she looked at him with joy. Huang Hongchuan ran in front of Han Ju, resting her chin on her hand and sizing him up. She blushed, and Hanju also felt somewhat embarrassed and said, I just hope you focus wholeheartedly on cultivating. He became serious and said, our relationship cannot be known for now. I'm afraid the enemies will use you to threaten me. Hearing his words, she was full of joy and immediately covered her face and responded, But in her heart, she secretly thought, he really does care about me. The scene of the man and woman was witnessed throughout by Hanju's two demonic pets. The black-eyed rooster scolded the Chaos Heaven dog, look, dog son, this is a scumbag. Husband, Huang Hongchuan seemed to want to say something but hesitated. Her mind was filled with thoughts, do I really deserve him? But I was the one who reached here first. I remember back then, I went through countless hardships to become a cultivator for revenge, putting in immense effort to increase my cultivation and investing countless resources, thinking everyone was like me. Until the first time I saw him, back then he was still a boy with no spiritual roots. When I saw his appearance, I thought he was a good match. So I gave him a plain spirit pill, which was already very good for someone with mixed spiritual roots. Unexpectedly, he later leaped to become one of the strongest in Yuqing sect. Hanju saw Huang Hongchuan wanted to say something but remained silent for a long time, so he asked, what's wrong? She only felt a bit regretful about fate. His talent is indeed at the 4th grade, it's almost incomprehensible. The more I compare, the more I feel inferior. But the truth is right in front of me, I should continue to work hard. I don't deserve Hanju. Huang Hongchuan didn't answer him, turned around and said, it's nothing, I'm going to cultivate now. She left, and Hanju stayed behind. Why did she suddenly seem unhappy? She's really hard to understand. The black-eyed rooster continued to teach the Chaos Heaven dog, I take back what I said before. Master is really a typical straight man. A year and a half later, upon his return, the 9 Cauldrons real person personally reorganized the Yuqing sect, and the spiritual energy of each inner sect pool greatly increased. Not only that, he tamed several extraordinary beasts capable of rivaling those in the nascent soul stage, stationed at the sect's myriad demons realm. After the Millennium Ceremony, the Yuqing sect grew stronger and stronger, and righteous sects from the cultivation world sent people to congratulate the Yuqing sect. The atmosphere was more vibrant than ever before. Everyone congratulated, Yuqing sect is unfathomable. I heard even the sect leader of the 6-1 Holy Church was slain here. We are reassured that no one here can provoke us. Hanju was not interested in the ceremony. 1,000 years of cultivation was his entire life, unless there was something particularly stimulating. He was instructing the 2 demonic beasts, if you grow any bigger, you won't be able to get through the cave gate. Stay outside and don't go down the mountain, understand? The helpless look on his face made the little chicken and the little dog look pitiful. The system prompt appeared again, catching Hanju's attention. Detected a person with celestial luck. Do you want to check their background? He saw that Suqi's background was a comet, which might bring disaster. Since he had the luck of the immortal emperor, he wouldn't be affected by the comet, but he couldn't kill the comet, or else the immortal emperor's luck would backlash. After reading all the information on the screen, Hanju froze, his body feeling as if it had turned to stone. He immediately ran aside and said to the system, tell me where he is. I have divine sense, don't let him get close to Yuqing sect. My immortal emperor's luck is immune, but Yuqing sect can't withstand it. But maybe Hanju was still a step too slow, because Suqi was already standing at the entrance of the sect. Hanju let out a sigh of relief, finally, he's at Yuqing sect. Suqi excitedly widened his eyes. From now on, Suqi will work hard to cultivate and definitely become the strongest. The small child climbed the huge steps one by one, speaking philosophy. The first step of cultivating immortality may be small, but it's a huge step in life. Suqi's feet were about to touch the first step of Yuqing sect. Just then, a gust of wind blew, and Hanju quickly arrived, breaking through the wind barrier and knocking the boy to the ground. Hanju coldly asked, why does a mortal like you come here? Suqi happily introduced himself, my name is Suqi, and I want to join Yuching sect to cultivate immortality. Are you an immortal?